So one issue is that I noted that in Windows, different devices are traditionally mapped onto different trees. Each device, like a CD-ROM device, has its own directory tree. A disk drive 1, C has its own directory tree. Disk drive 2, D has another one. Within a Linux framework, we have a single overarching directory structure associated with it, okay? And different devices are so-called mapped or mounted, is a more technical term for it, onto different areas of this tree. Now, there's two ways two files that I want, or two commands I want to show you. The first relates to disk use to see what my different files are, how much space they're taking. I showed that before, but the one most directly relevant to the issue of mounting is if you do df, you can actually see various file systems within this and where they're coming from. So, for example, a certain folder here, /www.docs, is coming from a certain original file share. In this case, it's coming from www.cs. And for example, my folder, which is in active use here, is being mounted from CS files. And generally speaking, you can see an associated server where certain parts of the file system are coming from. That could be useful to you in understanding what components are coming from where. And in this particular machine, which is on Tux World, you'll find just a couple of original servers explain a lot of the different file systems. Several of them are in common and so on. So DF will show different file systems, and it will provide information on the size of it, what's used, what's available, the percent used, and where it's mounted. In other words, where within this file system it's located. Okay. Okay, a couple other things. I had shown earlier how we can use different streams for output information. So let's go see what's here. And I'm going to do something like cat v268.mdl in some file that doesn't exist, foobar. And how would I send the standard error or standard output to one location? What would I do to put the standard output in a file called out? What would I do? Okay, I could do, to be very explicit about it, I could do how if I want to put the standard error in a different place? I could do to error, right? Like that. And what I'd find then is, if I catted out, well, I'd see a bunch of contents there, whatever is there. If I catted error, I'd see a different output from the error stream. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want it to go to any particular place, if you don't care where it goes, if you want it to go off into some black hole, you don't want to see that result at all, you can do it to what's called dev null, okay? And this will basically say, okay, take this std error and just get rid of it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to have it displayed. I don't want to put it in any particular file. I just want it to go away. So this dev null is occasionally useful in microphone. Okay. Incidentally, there are some other kind of little bit odd but purposeful places you can get information from. One of them is more interesting. It's called Yes. Does anyone know what Yes does? It's a very enthusiastic affirmative. Yeah, so you folks probably can't tell, but this thing is printing Y's at like 1,000 per second or something like that. 1,000 yeses. And this was created back in the day to allow, I did Control-C to break that. It was done back in the day to allow for commands which require people to say yes or no at various stages, to just always get yes, for example. It's occasionally useful. So we talked about overly trusting permission, syntax for variables, entering and leaving shells. Some of you, I think, got dinged for this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in Bash and I want to enter TCSH, how do I do it? Yes, I will go into TCSH. If I want to get back to Bash, is Bash still running? Okay, I'm going to show you something that would let you test that. I'm now in TCSH here. I could actually test. I could do a PS and I could go look at. You'll see this PS lists various processes, and you'll see I'm actually running a Bash process. Where is Bash? Yeah, it's supporting commands. It's all going on within Bash. It's just Bash is kind of delegated to TCSH to handle however many commands are wanted. How do I get back to Bash? Exit. I do exit, and now I'm back in Bash. So I was in Bash. Things were kind of coming along, and I could run various commands here and they'll operate. And one of them is I could run a command TCSH, right? TCSH. And that will start its own little command shell where I can fill information in. When I say exit, I just go back here and fill in more information. Okay? That's useful. Now, you could, if you wanted to, go within Bash. Okay, here I am in Bash. Oops. I'm in Bash now twice. I could exit from Bash. I'm still in Bash, right? I recursively invoked Bash from Bash. I started its own little sub-shell. Maybe I wanted to do some things there and then change some variables and then go back, and those variables are now gone. And I could go back to TCSH, and I could start Bash again here. How many Bashes am I running now? Two. So if I do PS, and I go take a look, now I'm running two Bashes at the same time. They have separate processes. So here, I went into Bash. So here I'm in Bash. I was entering information. I was typing commands. I said TCSH. It's just waiting for my commands, just like when I did, cat. It was waiting each command I entered. It was taking it in. And here I said Bash, and here is a bunch of things entered in Bash. So I can do exit. I go back to TSH. Exit. TCSH. Exit. Go back to Bash. Does that make sense? There's a stack of them we sometimes call. This is one way to depict this. Another way is to say, well, first we had, say, my sh shell involved. Maybe that's my default shell. And then atop of that, I pushed onto that Bash. So I started Bash. I'm still in sh, but I started Bash. And from within Bash, I invoked TCSH. And then within that, I invoked Bash again. And then maybe I exit. I so-called pop that off the stack. It's like a dinner plate. I pushed it on there. Now I'm taking it off. And like the dinner plates are Marcus Hall, I think. And back to TCSH. And then I exit from that. I'm back to Bash. And I exit from that. And I'm back to my near shell. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's all for review. That review occupied quite a bit of our time. But it was all well and good, and those were some things that